Anything else that's new business? I will mention that Mr. Thompson and I are headed to the PSBA conference in starting the 13th of October. Hopefully we will gather good information from the delegates who are there and the people who speak at that meeting. And we will report back on that either at the October or November meeting. The next item would be the announcements. The next regularly scheduled school board meeting is slated for Monday, October 26, 2015. It will be at 7 o'clock here in this room. There will be an executive session tonight following this meeting, and it will be for the purpose of personnel matters. At this point, we will move to comments from guests. Please give us your name, municipality, and the 3-minute limit still applies. Mrs. Furlong.
Sue Furlong, West Rock Hill Township. More excerpts from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Auditor General Performance Audit for Pennridge School District. Audit conclusions and results. Our audit found significant non-compliance with certain relevant state laws, regulations, contracts, grant requirements, and administrative procedures as detailed in the 3 audit findings within this report. Finding number 1, 2 administrators received excess tuition credit reimbursement totaling $27,510. Our review of the district's Act 93 agreement and administrative procedures found tuition credit reimbursement payments were made to 2 administrators in excess of the 12 credit allowance per agreement. See page 8. Finding number 2, transportation errors resulted in subsidy overpayments of $14,552. Our audit of the district's pupil transportation reports for the 2010-11 and 2011-12 school years found incorrect data was submitted to the Pennsylvania Department of Education. The errors resulted in subsidy overpayments of $14,552. Finding number 3, possible inaccurate reporting of retirement wages. Our review of the employment contracts, payroll records, and retirement records for the district's former superintendent and former director of curriculum found that retirement wages may have been overstated in reports submitted to PESers for the school years ending June 30th, 2011, 12, 13, and 14. PESers, for people that don't know, happens to be retirement benefits. Back to the excerpt. The total possible ineligible payments reported to PESers for the former superintendent and former director of curriculum were $61,578 and $10,512 respectively. See page 13. Thank you.
Thank you. Any others who would like to comment? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Mary Bark. I am a bus aide for
Can you
Pennridge.
push on the button? I think that,
This?
Did I mess it up?
there, thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry, my name is Mary Bark. I'm a bus aide for Pennridge Transportation. I consider this the best job I've ever had in my life. If I would have known about it, I would have done it as soon as I graduated high school. I love all the children. If there's any problem with the way transportation is, I think the school board should go on a special needs bus and see how more children need aids on the buses. That's the only problem. The main thing is we want our children safe and we want them happy. And if it takes a little bit more time because we only have so many drivers, we only can go from certain schools from one school to another. The main thing is to get them there to and from school safe and happy, and that's what we try to do every day. So I can't agree with that woman. Maybe her time is a little off with whatever the schedule is, but basically the whole transportation does an excellent job, and I just want everyone to know that.
Thank you, Mrs. Barr. Yes, Mr. Snyder?
One thing I failed to mention is our total cost, to the best of my knowledge, for that memorial were just shy of $18,000. And as I already said, we raised over $20,580. It is the intention of our committee to leave that with the school, or unfortunately there will be in the future, I'm sure, names added to that list. The other thing would be for any maintenance with it. And I've had an idea, which I will not go into detail with you at this point in time. I've talked briefly with Jeff. It's something that may really cause that site to be even better than what it is now. And the other thing is, the other thing that our committee is going to recommend with that money. I saw up there, I think 3% of the Pennridge students go into the military on that breakdown that I saw. It may be something to just give them $100 when they go in, because I know what it's like when you get started in the military, that first paycheck doesn't come right away. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Michelle Kramer, Bedminster, and I actually have two questions. First, I see that the girls' JV basketball coach has resigned. I have a freshman who's trying out for the basketball team, so this came as a little bit of a surprise. We've gotten to know her. So I just was curious as to whether or not this is recent, if another candidate has been identified, or if this is just posted.
Let me just say one thing. I've advised the board this before, and I don't think it's unfair to give the speaker general information. I just advise the board and the administration not to speak in specifics with regard to a particular employee or personnel matter.
Mrs. McHale, do you know where we stand in the process of replacing this individual?
I believe the position is currently posted.
Okay, thank you. My second question, oops, I'm off here.
It goes out if you don't speak soon enough.
Okay. There we go. My second question is just in regards to clearances. I know there was this great year of transition in terms of parent volunteers and clearances, and everyone's learning and still being educated. As a parent of an elementary school child, at the most recent PTG meeting, we asked questions about upcoming assemblies for this year. And we were told there's still a great deal of confusion on who is allowed to come into the school, what clearances as someone running an assembly they have to have, and just understanding the whole process. So if I looked at the budget, our budget this year for assemblies has been reduced by 80%, 85%. And it was just because we were told that there's so much confusion, they just don't even know how to go about the approvals with getting to bring people in.
I can try to answer that question, I guess, as an initial matter, ma'am. The most significant recent change to the background check requirement was with respect to volunteers, which added a layer of work that both administrators and would-be volunteers have to go through in getting clearances for people. But generally speaking, someone who's coming onto district property and might have even the potential of having direct contact with a child or a student has to undergo 3 sets of clearance requirements: an FBI federal check, a state check, and then also a child abuse registration check. And it can be an onerous thing, but it's a state mandate that the school district insists upon that. And And it applies even to folks who you would think might not need it, such as construction workers who come onto district property and don't generally have, or you don't think of them as having a lot of contact with students. And so someone who's coming into a school building could potentially be alone with a student. They have to have those 3 checks. So it's a lot of work and there's some expense to it, but it's a state law which requires it.
So is it new or additional laws this year? I'm just, we're concerned about our kids enjoying the curriculum and being exposed to, different assemblies. And so I just didn't know if this was something new. Additional, just like we had to go through additional clearances this year. And if that's, if it might take a year or 2 to transition, but ultimately we're trying to get back in the same place.
Yes, ma'am, some of the requirements are new, but it also seems like as the new requirements have been unfurled, that school districts, the process for obtaining clearances has become faster, and the process seems to be becoming more efficient.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Not questions from the press? Yes, sir.
Can you give me,
Can you please come to the microphone so that everyone can hear you?
I'm Gary Wexelblad with the Intelligence newspaper.
Can you turn the microphone on, please?
I have no idea how to turn it on.
There should be an on, taped on.
I'm Gary Wexelblad with the Intelligence. Can you give me the year-by-year percentage increases?
The answer to your question is yes. I don't know how quickly I can come by it. He's looking for percentages of his listed stuff.
Can they be given to you offline, sir?
I'm happy to speak to you guys afterwards. I've never spoken to the school board meeting.
Here are the numbers that I have. I believe they are correct. The percentages, for the first year, there was no retroactivity, so that is a 0. For the second year, it's 1.61%, 2.07%. That would be for the year ending, or starting in July of 16, and 1.26%.
All right, can you give me the total of the salaries and benefits as part of the overall budget?
I cannot give that to you accurately. We obviously would have that, but I don't have that number. It's in the 70 percentile range, as I recall.
I'm looking for the total dollar number.
For the budget
For
impact, is
example,
that what you're asking about?
What would the total be this year? And
Let me
then at
suggest
the end
that,
of 4 years, what would it be?
let me just suggest that the district get that information to you once it has had an opportunity to make sure that that what it's providing you is accurate.
Mr. Cox, I appreciate that. The teachers approved the contract a week ago, so I'm hoping to have it in the story that I'm writing tonight for tomorrow.
And I think that's a fair request, but again, my concern is that my client gives you accurate information.
So what you're saying, sir, is that you will not be able to provide me those numbers tonight?
I think we need to see what we have here, but that strikes me as a possibility. But if you stick around, we can
Happy to do that,
talk
thank
to
you.
you offline.
Okay, I'm happy to speak to you afterwards, thank you.
Any other questions from the press? If not, this meeting's adjourned. Thank you for coming.